And the breaking news here at 5 o'clock, the man who killed Hartford Police Detective Bobby Garten in 2023 has learned his fate. This is coming after a day full of testimony and impact statements. Thank you for joining us here for the news at 5. I'm Tim Lammers. In just the last hour, 20-year-old Richard Barrington was sentenced to 30 years in prison. However, he won't serve all of that time behind bars. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson is live outside the courtroom with the details and all of the reaction from the people who were in court that day. Jamel.
Yeah, Tim, I mean, it was a raw, emotional, long day in court. We just learned the sentencing for Richard Barrington. He was sentenced to 30 years, is going to be suspended after 16, and then 5 years following that, he will be on probation. During that probationary period, he will have to be in substance abuse rehab, and every year during his probation, he will have to make a monetary donation of at least $50 to Sea Cadets, which was a charity that Bobby Garten was fond of. Now, like I said, it was a raw, emotional day in court. People were just really reflecting on that day and what was lost, was taken from them that day. It started with the state's attorney showing videos of what happened during that day and basically reflecting on the actions that Mr. Barrington took, which was fleeing from police and then ended up ramming into their cruiser, Bobby Garten and Brian Kearney's cruiser. Then came statements from people from the police department, friends and family of Bobby Garten, his brother, Will Garten, were again reflecting on what they lost that day and basically just saying that they are not complete. They haven't been complete since September of 2023. Brian Kearney, he spoke as well. He did not want to be on camera, but we have audio from him and it's going to be played a little later today. He looked Barrington in the face and he said, "You took my partner from me, but me and you are square." That's what he said to him. And his wife also spoke, and she basically detailed the grueling moments just caring for her husband in the hospital, detailed the lacerations that he had, how long he was in the hospital, just the moments of just trying to get him back to full health, and he still isn't in full health. Then came statements from Barrington's side and Barrington's family, his mother, father, sister, grandmother. Barrington himself stood up in front of the courtroom and apologized for his actions directly to the police department, to friends and family of Detective Garten and Brian Kearney himself. He also mentioned the defense team also talked about Barrington owning up to his actions, taking accountability for his actions as soon as he was in the hospital for his injuries and being interrogated by police. He also mentioned the lengths Barrington has gone to try to better himself in prison. That started with getting his high school diploma. He dropped out of high school for a year to help his mother back at home, and he promised her that he would get his diploma one day, and he did that in prison. And he's also been talking to what the defense is telling us. He's also been talking to people in prison to try to see if he can get his college degree one day. Now, the factors that went into this sentencing was the crime that was committed, that Barrington was the first time. Okay.
Because of this, I won't get to stand besides Bobby at his wedding the way he did at mine. I won't get to celebrate with him when he has his first child as he did when I had mine. Our families will never take vacations together or watch our children grow up side by side in the backyard.
The one thing I have missed is our one-word text we send each other before shift ends, status, to check in when we're getting out. My last text to Bobby on that night was let him know that I had tickets to the Yard-Goats game. We plan on attending with friends on that Friday.
This feels like a crack in my brain that won't close. Yet I still have to show up like I'm fine. I'm not fine. Not even close.
Now, the factors that Judge Gold contributed to his sentencing, which was, again, 30 years, suspended after 16, was the crime that was committed. This is the first time Barrington is standing in front of a court. He had no prior criminal history. The age of the offender, he was 18 at the time this happened. Now he's 20. In youth, people tend to make rash decisions. That was factored in as well, too. And the fact that he decided to forego a trial, accept guilt, and accept punishment in front of the court. And also the fact that Barrington looked at every single speaker on Detective Bobby Garten's behalf and on Detective Kearney's behalf as well.
Jamel, I know in the video while you were talking, we saw former Hartford police officer Jill Kiddick, who was attacked and almost killed by somebody. So good to see that she's doing okay. Just curious to see, as for Mr. Barrington himself, did he display any emotion throughout the course of the day during the impact statements or when the verdict, when the sentencing was announced?
He did, in fact, display some emotion. He was actually crying at one point during the people who were talking on Detective Garten's behalf. I believe it was when Will Garten, the brother, was talking. He was crying during that whole time. I feel like he did really feel that emotion, and the Judge Gold, actually even said it. He said he felt remorse from Barrington during that entire hearing, and he said that over the course of his years being a judge, there's a lot of people that he knows did not feel remorse, did not take accountability for their actions. And he talked a little bit about how rare it is to see somebody not just accept their actions and accept guilt and accept remorse for those actions, but he said somebody that young, 18 years old at the time, now 20, to just accept guilt and just have remorse in front of the people that he hurt.
Okay, and again, 30 years, could have been as much as 41 years for Barrington, 20 years for each of the 2 felonies, and then 1 year for the misdemeanor. Jamel Johnson, thank you so much for joining us from Hartford with more on what, as you said, was a very emotional day in court. We appreciate it.